Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. Welcome back. Today I want to discuss the fact that up on my screen I have finally completed my 100 shares of Pfizer. The way I was able to do that is I've actually had the remaining 15 shares that I needed in my Achilles Financial account, and I was finally able to get those transferred over to the savings account today. And what I'm going to be using this savings, and I do want to be clear that the savings is the title of the account. It is not a savings account. It's still stock options and stock trading account. And as you can see up here on the screen, I've actually pulled in my Pfizer shares into what we have here on the screen. And you can see my cost basis. You can see that the gain. This is a stock that we're currently sitting at $641 on the return, and you can see that here. So this is a position that we've been purchasing, we've been talking about it on the channel, but now that we had a good day in terms of at the beginning of the day, there was a Pfizer run up because there is a very high expectation that Pfizer is going to have the vaccine for coronavirus complete in a very short order, and it may even be coming out as soon as December. They started production today. So the expectation is it's going to be done soon, and that led to Pfizer to have a very good start of the day. And what I did is I sold my first covered call on the Pfizer shares in this specific account. Again, so this is an account that we started not that long ago. So this is less than 3 months old, and we finally acquired 100 shares of Pfizer, and we had a really good start to the day. It was up about 1.5 or 1.5%. And so when that occurred, I sold that covered call, and you can see that here. And again, that cost is I was paid $37 for a $39.50 option. And I'm going to showcase that in Thinkorswim, but I just want to show what's happening right now. I was paid $37, and that gave me a high enough cash balance. You can see I started today with about $30 in my cash balance. So that brought me up to right at $67 in cash. So I went out and I purchased 2 shares of Bank of America, and then I purchased a Bank of America put. And the reason I did that is because A, they were very high up. B, I knew that if they had any downward momentum that this would be a gain. And you can see that that gain has quickly accelerated into like a 90% return because I paid like 11 cents for this one. So we are in a good position here. I'm happy with the 2 trades. I may buy back the Pfizer call tomorrow because if some exciting news happens, then Pfizer could easily move $1.50. But this is the value of having covered calls. I will highlight whenever I sell these because at this point in time, depending on what I buy it back for, we're probably going to be around a $30 gain. And if we are able to get $30 a week every week of the year, then we're going to be looking at $1,560. So that's an easy $1,500, which is going to essentially be another 1,500 or half of our shares, right at 50 shares. So there's a lot of value that can happen by selling these covered calls. So let's take a look at what happened in Thinkorswim. So we're now in Thinkorswim looking at the identical information, but in a very different format. So I sold my covered call off one of these green candles right here. It went as high as $40, so I could, or 42, I think. So I could have gotten more if I had waited until up here, but I'd like to sell into the momentum at the start of the day. So I was able to sell that, and you can see that right here, where the trade price $37, I was able to sell that. And as you can see over here on the right hand side, it has depreciated by 70%. Now, granted, that's mostly due to the fact that the entire market is selling off, and you can see that here. And depending on how we open tomorrow, may not be able to buy that back for the price that we see at this point in time, where it's currently at $10. So we may be wanting to see if that holds out. But what I'm looking to do is buy that back under $10, lock in that $27. But ideally, I'd like it to be a little bit lower than that. The way that I win on this trade, we can actually see that down below, is I get $37 a share as long as it doesn't go over $37. And the way that I start losing on this trade is if it really starts ramping up over that point in time. So I still have a win as long as it doesn't hit 38 or 39 $1,286. And the reason for that is because that is the cost of selling my shares plus the trade that I got. But you can see it ramps up pretty quickly, although I don't actually lose this money. Rather, what's happening if it starts ramping up to the right-hand side of the screen is that I am missing out on potential revenue. It's not a true loss. I don't see my cash balance go down. So what I may do is if I can buy it back with my $7.91, then I may have the capability to do so. But it all depends on momentum. So when you're selling covered calls, make sure you have that green trend and that you're positive on the day, because you're going to get more value for it. As you can see right here by the fact that I'm 70% up on just a single call. So we're going to be watching that. There's a lot of potential here, a lot of value, but this is just goes to show you some of the capabilities you have when you're looking at how to trade stocks and how you can trade on some of these stocks that, again, they're not big movers, but you can sell covered calls and really take advantage of that passive income and use that passive income to buy more shares. In this specific account, I'm strictly going to be using the covered calls from Pfizer to most likely be purchasing Bank of America shares, just because I like the stock and I think it's really good at illustrating the purpose. And I like the Bank of America dividend when it's close to that 3% mark, which we're currently sitting at. So all things considered, there's a lot of value here. So this is what I'm going to be doing in the near future and for the foreseeable future. If you have any suggestions or plays or stocks that you like, please drop those in the comments below. And if you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe.